Okay, here we go. We're going to try this again from my phone, because then it usually gives me an option to say, hey, there we go. Okay, there we go. See, now Ben can jump on with me.
Yay!
Hey! The settings are just so different on the computer and the phone.
It may be the computer, but it may be because the NLA site is a business one.
Maybe.
And I just don't know what that looks like. That's right. It didn't even give me an option to ask you. And so I don't know. Maybe the phone's different. I don't know. I'm trying to adjust my screen here. But I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah. Yep. We try it and fail fast, right? Go on to something else.
Yep, 100%.
Cool. Well, do you want to share any updates for the lending world? And we'll just
Yes, love to. So thanks. This is our live. I know Nicole and I do it. I know she's in some meetings this week, and we had a brand new grandbaby this week. So it's been kind of crazy, which is amazing. So I'm super excited and still kind of tired. Probably not as tired as they are, but definitely tired as a grandpa. It's different. But the lending world currently, rates, just kind of touch that real quick. You've seen them fluctuate up and down and up and down and up and down. They were just in the fives and then they went into the sixes and they're just trailing down a little bit. The best advice I was asked just recently from a client who started the refinance and didn't want to lock when they were in those mid-ish fives and said, I'm going to wait because I think they're coming down more. And we still have the file open. We're ready. We're kind of teed up, which is what I suggest everybody to do at this point in time, is get it ready just in case it does come back down, because we do have next month the Fed chair changing, hopefully. Won't say that's ever a guarantee when the government, but the Fed chair should be changing this next. And, we don't know what's going to happen with Iran. I know that most of the time when the government comes out and Trump comes out and says something, not to get political, it can fluctuate what the rates do. Oil prices have, kind of carved out what the rates are going to do. So with that being said, it just comes down to, I think, overall, all the reports that you see coming out over the next 3 weeks to maybe 2 months, we should really see what happens with these rates. They are projecting that they will go back into that middle to high five range. So hold strong is what I'll say. Don't give up. If you're looking at buying a home, don't rush to do it, but also don't wait and say, I'm going to wait till rates come down, because when rates come down, there will be more buyers in the market. And if you can get closing costs today, not every home is doing that, then that could save you tens of thousands of dollars long term.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the rate stuff. Tell me what's going on in the housing market on your end.
I feel like the mass exodus from Washington is just getting worse, honestly. And I mean, we still have people moving here as well because our job market is, but a lot of the sellers that I've been meeting with are actually moving out of state for whatever reason, right? Again, not to make it political, that's not what we're here to do, but to analyze the market. We are seeing a lot of people leave, which means our inventory is actually pretty high, which is good. Buyers. That's actually a really great thing for buyers. We're seeing less competition per house just because we do have more homes available. But we are seeing that sellers are still being a little more reasonable than they were a few years ago. Like you said, we are getting some concessions. So like some buyer closing costs paid or some money off the price, things like that. There is room for negotiation. So that's always there's definitely some room for negotiation, and there is a lot of inventory to look at. As far as, waiting for the rates to drop or whatever, we always say this, right? So we probably sound like a broken record, but there really is no perfect time to buy a house. The perfect time for you to buy a house is when you can afford to buy a house. And how are you going to know if you can afford to buy a house if you don't talk to a lender? Right? Like we can all think about it, and we all know what we pay for rent, and we know that we have monthly bills and things like that. But that's why we're here, because we want you guys to be comfortable coming to us and saying, hey, like this is what we want to do. This is our goal. This is our plan. Can you help us tweak our plan? Help us move it up or slow it down, whatever that may be. So don't wait. Always start sooner rather than later. Usually people come to us and they think that they're ready, and we get them through lending, and they're 3 to 6 months out on average, I would say. It's not super common for someone to get approved and be shopping the next week. It does happen. That's great. But it's not the common thing to happen. So the sooner that you sit down and chat with Ben or myself or whoever you're working with is really going to be better for you. And I think just in general, that's why we like to do these lives, because we just like to be really upfront and honest with you guys. We know a lot of you guys do look to us for real estate advice, and we love that. That's what we want to do, is provide that education. But I think that the advice is, everyone talks about building wealth in real estate. What is that, right, Ben? Like, what does that really mean? And how can we get you started? Because, yeah, once you own a home, yes, you're gaining like that, but there's got to be a plan in place. So, I mean, what are the conversations that you're having with people that are trying to get pre-approved that are maybe a little discouraged with what they can afford?
A lot. In the refi market too. I think it's just it's a hot topic where there's so much information out on the internet and in AI and with other, but then on top of that, I think that kind of creates a lot of maybe lack of education in it, to be honest. Like, I don't know how to say that exactly, but to kind of go over, we've been preaching, and I know other people have, building wealth in real estate. And the last couple conversations I've had with at least buyers who we are trying to build confidence in their pre-approval, helping them understand how to make buying a home affordable. It's different when you're buying, like our ancestors and our, back when our grandparents were buying and they bought a home for $8,000, right? Nowadays it's 800,000, right? So what's going to happen in the future? Well, no one can really know, but the projection says that that's going to be higher. So how do you build wealth? What does building wealth in real estate mean? I think most mistakes, I'll start there, that first-time home buyers sometimes even move up, or when someone downsizes even, they make the mistake of thinking that they can't afford as much as they really do. They put a limit on themselves on, well, I want a payment of, because my rent payment's $2,000 or $2,500. I only want to spend $2,800 on a mortgage. Well, if we were just comparing the surface level of mortgage payment to rent and there was no other benefits, exactly, no one should even spend more than that. People should put themselves in a position where they're paying an equal amount, because why would you pay more to live unless you were on the water or there was extra items, right? Or benefits per se, right? But with buying a home, some of the things that I've started to see is, and I'm not a tax professional, so I'm going to say this right away, go and get a tax professional to help walk you through what the benefits are of buying a home in the first 1 to however many years you own the home. You do get to write off some of that interest, and it can be quite a lot. I had a client just recently do the math on it. They're buying a $600,000 loan. It was $412 specifically dollar for dollar tax break for them a month, which is huge. That technically at the end of the year reduces what you really paid. So yeah, your payment may have been $4,000 or $3,800, but at $400 less towards the end of the year, you really only paid $3,400 or $3,600. So with that being said, the other benefits that go along with this are you do gain equity. And right now the projection is a little over 4%. In the history, it's been upwards of 10 plus. There are rumors that once rates do come down, we could see that again. I think supply and demand and so many other things will play into that factor. You always want to err on the side of caution, and something we do is when we create your plan to purchase, and no matter what program you choose, we always try to err on the side of caution. We don't want to say, oh, you're going to gain 10% this next year, because that's a lot of money. You know, your payment's not going to be $2,000 a month. We're always going to edge on the side of caution so that we can make sure that we, you know, expect worst case, but hope for best case, right? So with that being said, also, you know, we're going to use about a 4% increase of value per year. And then you also pay a little bit of principal. So you're paying yourself back because now you own the home, you know, with the bank. So, you know, when you're paying just a normal rent payment of 2,500 or 2,000, you really are buying a home, or at least buying somebody else's home for them at, you know, $2,800 to $3,200. And so that's what a mortgage payment would be. And I know that that looks scary because you're going from 2,000 to 3,000. And you're like, well, I'm going to eat top ramen, or I can't afford to get gas because gas prices are higher, or man, milk keeps going up, or whatever that may be. And the reality is that first 12 months, it really is the first 12 months. And what I've been doing a lot with consumers and clients is we've been adjusting to down payment assistant programs, even though you may have some equity that you're selling and getting. I have a client right now who, they are selling their home and they're paying off all of their debt, a lot of debt. It's like $60,000, $70,000. And they don't have any money for a down payment or closing costs.
Yeah.
And so they just immediately said, we're going to rent. They didn't even explore the option. And they started looking at rentals, and rents are not cheap for what they're looking for. A 3-bedroom, I think upwards of $3,800, which is like, oh my gosh, it's like buying a house again.
Yeah.
And they called me and they were very sad. And I said, well, why aren't we not? I told you we should, you know, get pre-approved for, you know, doing this. And they said, well, I can't. I don't have a down payment. And I said, well, hold on a second. There's not just, so this is a good announcement for everyone who's out there. It's not just the first time home buyer programs. They have down payment assistant programs, even if you have money in the bank. So if you are selling, or you've owned a home in the past and maybe you rented, or you're going through a divorce, or there's a circumstantial thing going on and you want to buy a home, as long as it's your primary residence, it can't be an investment property, there are down payment assistant options available for you. So if you've been told something different, please reach out to us right away. By turning the light on, that's what we do. We turn the light on and give you the education of your current situation to show kind of how you can truly build wealth in real estate. So for instance, for that client there, they were saving up some money again. Their payment is actually less than what rent's going to be. So I've got them pre-approved in the 400s, and they're now going to be out shopping for a home, which is amazing. And they're going to be paying less than rent, building 4% a year in equity, approximately, paying principal. And it's just so amazing to be able to help people truly build wealth. So to get back to your question, and I kind of, you know, went around and around on it, but it's more of building wealth in real estate is not just the comparison of rent, because we all have to pay something to live here in some place. You're either building wealth for you, or you're building wealth for the person that owns the home. Because when you own the home, now you're getting a piece of the equity, the tax stuff, the principal reduction, so many other benefits. That's how you build wealth in real estate.
Yeah, and it's not the quick game. I think that's all get a little bit frustrated, is they think that they're going to be able to make all this money in real estate right away. And I mean, there are ways to do that, but not with your primary home per se. Like, the first step is we just got to get you in a home, right? Like, if you don't have that, you don't have a chip in the game. Then, like, years down the road, when you've got equity, you could potentially pull that out. That's when you can start doing some investing and start learning those next steps. So that's further down the line. But really, the first goal is you've got to trust the process and get into a house. You really do. Like, this is the best investment that you can make. Is to get in there and be gaining 4% a year. So it's not this, it's not the quick and easy money, but it's going to be a solid investment. and you will be so happy that you bought a house. I've never had any of my clients come back to me and be like, man, I should have just rented.
No.
Right? Have you ever had that happen? I've had them say, man, I wish I would have bought sooner. That's
Yeah. I've had some people say they wish they wouldn't have bought, but it was like they moved out of state or, lost jobs, things like that. But it's the same thing. If you rent, it would be the same exact situation, except they didn't hedge on building wealth. They were just paying someone else's wealth. I love what you said, building wealth in real estate with the next steps. The first step is truly turning the light on and getting that done. And then the second and third step, which, you can't even start doing until you own a house. And that is truly trimming the interest off your loan and getting an effective interest rate that drops down. And I know rates seem high today. And if you're just looking at the surface level of it, which most lenders just look at that, fees and rates and the shiny toy. And, I have a client currently also that I had pre-approved about a year ago, and they were putting it on hold. And they were going through this just recently. I was following up with them. Hey, I'm going to check in with you. Like, yeah, another year. And then somehow they were told by someone or saw something and they went with a different lender. And then that lender said, hey, you got to use my people. And long story short, when I just got a loan estimate within the last couple days, they were charging them an extra $6,400. And yes, they were doing some different programs that were out there, but there were better options out there. So not all loan companies are created equal. Before you make a decision to choose your professional or go with anyone, or even buy that home, double check, do your due diligence, because I know that sometimes even working with family can be really rough. I'm going to be very real with you. Sometimes you maybe not want to share information with them, or you don't want them to judge you. This is a no judgment zone. We've been doing this for a long time, and we've seen, knock on wood, almost everything. I'm not going to say everything because I don't want to jinx myself there, but I've seen a lot, and I know that we've helped people that's taken 6, 7, 8 years to get out of multiple divorces and credit as low as 400, or built that up and finally bought a home and did all these different things. And the best thing I can suggest is don't be fooled by the shiny object or the quick call of, hey, my rate's a little better. Well, is it really? When they reached back out to me, I told them what the rates were. I gave them a website to look at. The other lenders showed them that the rates were better, and they were like, well, I'm going to go with you. And now that they're under contract and now they have a home, we are about $6,400 better. I don't know if I can close it in time, so I feel really bad because they're going to spend $6,400 more. And, the biggest thing in building wealth is trimming the interest off, making sure you're doing the research to know exactly where you are so that you can make the right decision. And I know Steph is going to help you walk through that. And if it doesn't make sense, she will tell you, this doesn't make sense. Same with me. If it doesn't make sense today, I'm going to tell you either to go with that other lender if it does make sense, or I'm going to tell you it doesn't make sense and you shouldn't, because that's our fiduciary responsibility as a licensed professional that's been in the business for as long as we have.
Yeah.
So
it is our duty, and it is respectfully, that's lawful, right? That's what we should be doing.
Have to.
That's not what everyone does. Not everyone does have best interest. Some agents and some lenders are really just in it for a quick buck. They don't care if you come back to them in 7 years, right? Because the average person only sells every 7 years. So the fact that they're working to keep a relationship with you and check in with you and see how you're doing and see what your goals are, I hope that you guys understand that, that we're in this for the long haul. We want to work with you. We want to be a good fit, and we want to help you with your overall goals. So I think just turn that light on, like Ben always says.
I do say it's the broken record. Sorry.
Get it on a hat for you.
You turn the light on. I'm going to be, future first mortgage. Turn the light on.
Yeah.
But there's so many options, and there's man, there's probably 90 plus thousand different loan programs out there and different options. And that's so many. We could literally have a live. I know earlier on the business one, it said you could go live for 8 hours. I heard
Yeah.
you say that. And I mean, there's not enough time on a live now to go over the programs and products and options that you as a home buyer have today. And we have all those options for you. We can turn the light on, help you narrow that down, put you in a position where even if today is not the day, it is always best practice to start 6 months in advance, because when we think we're ready, we may not be ready. So to turn the light on truly just means to know where you're at so you can make the right decision. I'm not going to push you to do it. And the one thing I would always ask is, if we do get you pre-approved, do me one favor. Before you go buy a home anywhere, even if you do get the shiny toy from another lender or realtor, just please reach out to me and have a conversation. Because lately I've been seeing that a lot of these online lenders, a lot of these lenders are desperate. The market is not 100%. It hasn't been great. And some people will say things or do things that isn't where it should be up to standard, and you will end up finding out after you close or towards the end, and you don't want to lose out on where you're at. And I've seen that a lot lately. That does not mean we will judge you or not help you in the future. So know that if you do, we're humans, we're going to make mistakes. Reach out to us, please, still, because we are here to help you no matter what. And do not think that if you did make that decision that you're going to be judged and or we won't reach our hand out to help you. We all make mistakes, but come back and let's chat about it.
Yeah. Yep. And like you said, it's all about just the due diligence. You owe it to yourself, right? Like, this is going to be, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, this is your huge first purchase that you're, right? It's bigger than a car. It's bigger than college, right? Like, this is a huge expense. So you owe it to yourself to do that due diligence, to make sure that you have the right team behind you and that you have the right options and the right goal and all of those things. You do not have to pick someone just to pick someone, right? Like, you need to do some interviewing, know these people's stats. It's so easy for real estate agents to say, well, I'm in the top 10%. Okay, well, where did that study come from, right? Because you can literally pay to put yourself in those. And people don't know that. So just because you see it doesn't mean it's always real, unfortunately, because we are in the sales business and not all salespeople are honest. And that sucks, because that's a stigma that we have to work against. But we do, because we care about what we do and we care about our clients. So we want you guys to be able to come to us and tell us, hey, well, they said I could do it for this price. Like, it sounds too good to be true, but is it? We will look at it. Like, honestly, if there is a better deal for you somewhere else or with something, do that. We will tell you that. But to be quite honest, that's typically not the case. And unfortunately, we hear about it afterwards when we can't help. So, definitely do that due diligence for yourself. You owe it to yourself. So.
And who you choose really does save you money long term. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, programs and stuff out there. And, do they have an exit strategy on the home? What is an effective interest rate? There's so many things that come into on the next time they do go to buy and sell a home.
Yes.
What strategic plan do you have? Because that's how you build wealth. Just buying a home is not just going to start immediately building you wealth. You're not just going to be the richest person ever. It's the steps you take after that that truly create the wealth. And if you're sitting with a professional today that hasn't discussed any of those, you definitely need to reach out to someone else.
That's a red flag. It's not.
Agreed.
Not just about the one transaction. If they're not trying to help you plan for the future and talk to you about an exit strategy or things like that, or have those resources available at least, right? Then yeah, that's something that you want to look for, and you owe that to yourself. You don't owe it to anyone else, to yourself. So
agreed. I do believe, last thing I'll say here, I wanted to just touch on one of the home buyer programs, or is the Covenant Homeownership Program. I know I've mentioned it one time before. They're making some changes. I know there was a lawsuit going on, some things going on. What I do know is they should have funds, and I've heard some rumors. I'd want to just clear that up based on what I have. We do and can teach the home buying classes if we need to. We do run a home buying class that's a little shorter, more informal. We'll go over that in a moment. But as far as the covenant homeownership, right now it's the hottest topic. I see these things all the time out there. Covenant, covenant, covenant. It's amazing. It's been out for a while. It is an amazing program. Like, wow. There are specific guidelines for it. As we turn the light on, we will look at that with you. That's one of the things you do, because what you don't want to do is just only try to get approved for one loan. You want to see what your options are so we know exactly what the best plan for you is. With that being said, to get started, if you're just, I rent and my credit's not good, or whatever it may be, you're challenged there, or you're in a divorce, or you don't know where you're at and you just want to find out. We run once a month a class for buyers. We are going to start doing a seller one. We're going to start doing some other really cool stuff where we're going to bring some outside professionals in for wills and estates and financial planning and amazing things that help, as long as also what you do for protection. We're just trying to bring more value to you, because we know how it is these days, that it's not easy. Inflation, gas prices, everything costs more. And the more we can do for you, the better it is. So on the 21st of this month, which would be, I think, next Tuesday, is that correct?
That sounds right. Yep.
I think so. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I think it's next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. We are, and you may have seen it online. If not, it'll be probably posted in the bottom. We'll have Janelle put it down here, where it'll be a link. It's an Eventbrite. It's 45 minutes. It's informal. It's on Zoom. We go over what we just talked about today, the confidence and pre-approvals, how kind of things work a little. We're not going to spend too much time on it. We can definitely go one-on-one if you need more or you have questions. We always stay after and ask your questions. It's for anyone that is uncomfortable in currently not knowing where they're at. Or if you were turned down, it happens all the time where you go to your bank or you go to a lender that was referred to you and they go, oh, well, so sorry, your credit score is a little low and we can't qualify you for now, but call us back in 6 months. And they say thank you and you walk away and you're like, oh, well, what do I do? Just keep saving money? Or, and they're like, sure, just keep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to help you with, is a roadmap to get where you need to be. And not just with that first step. We're going to continue this on. We are here forever for you. We're here until you can build the true wealth and, get there to buy that investment property, that second home in Hawaii or Arizona or wherever you want to move to. Because it sounds like a lot of people are moving out of Washington. So let's keep them here and help them buy second homes elsewhere.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I thank you guys. I don't have anything else today. I really thank you guys for watching this. Share this. We want to get the word out that there are still good, true professionals left. We do want to help you walk through it. And it just starts with the conversation. And, if you want to show up to our class on the 21st, you don't have to put your video on and come say hello. We're going to just talk about, awesome mortgage and real estate items, and hopefully we'll get some more education to you.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah. If it's convenient and jump on, you don't have to have your camera on. We're not going to do like a roll call and make you talk or anything like that. You can be as shy as you want to. It doesn't matter. And still benefit from the information. You touched on it a little bit. We have a class, I believe it's June 2nd, and we'll obviously get more info to you, but I think that's doing our wills and estate class. I'm so excited for that one. I think we're going to actually try and do that one in person, hopefully. And we're going to have a guest speaker and stuff like that so that we can actually start talking about what does it look like to have a will and how do you plan for an estate and things like that. There are things that people just don't know. I don't know all the answers to that. I'm so excited actually for that class.
Me too.
So anytime that you guys see our classes, if you help us promote them and share them, we super appreciate it. It helps get in front of more people. And if you guys know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or invest, even if they're in the beginner stages, please connect them with us. That is the biggest compliment you can give us. If you are a past client, a friend, a family member, anyone like that, if they're in the state of Washington, if they're not, we want to be your go-to first line of contact for anything lending and real estate. And then we can always put you in the right direction, but we are always the right place to start that first step. So we would greatly appreciate that to help support us so that we can help more people. So,
and if you're a professional that does wills, estate planning, financial planning, or you're tied somehow to the real estate industry, we would love to connect with you and find out how you want to grow. I know I've talked to some really amazing people in the last week from these lives and from some of the posts we've made. And I'm going to send out another one here shortly on who do you know. So please share if you know an amazing insurance person or amazing financial planner or advisor, or if you know an amazing, attorney or divorce attorney or estate planner, please, I want to meet them. I want to find out what makes them amazing and what are they looking to grow, because here we're looking to grow and bring better information to our consumers so that we can help the masses. And if you're doing the same thing, we would love to sit down and find out how we can partner.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that speaks volumes, getting vendors together, getting people together that are minded. We're just going to be able to provide more help. So I think that's a great point.
Well, thanks for doing this with me today, Steph. I appreciate you. And guys, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Connie and Nicole. You guys have been watching the whole time. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. See you guys.